What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down how wide receivers can know when to attack leverage and when to not attack leverage. So we're going to be showing two examples, one of which where the wide receiver should not be attacking the DB's leverage, and then an example of when you should be attacking the DB's leverage to move them off the platform. So I hope this video helps you guys out. Also, fellas, if you're a wide receiver and you want to improve more of the IQ sides of things, you want to understand defenses, understand coverages, and how you guys can structure your routes to beat those coverages, check out that very first link in the description below for a 40-minute long video on how wide receivers can read defenses. So what we give you access to, it's a 40-minute video, like I said, where we walk you through every single defensive coverage, what routes, releases, moves will work against that coverage, and how you guys can recognize it to make yourself more of an asset to your offense. So check out that very first link below if you are interested in that 40-minute long video. Let's get started. So the only time I got inside shade press, right? The only time that I probably don't want to attack a DB's leverage is when I have to run a slant route in this specific case. Okay, so let's talk about it. So if I have this inside shade look and I have to run a slant, there is nothing really for me here if I try to square up the DB because he's inside shade for a reason, right? This DB's lined up inside shade to protect the inside. He does not want you to run to the inside right now. I know this is a little bit weird of a camera angle, but trust me, this DB's inside shade. It's just a tough angle to see. So what I would want to do, because I'm trying to get him to move his off the platform, flip his hips so I could slip under, is I want to attack the outside, right? So that's the only time is when I'm running a slant route. So if he had to run something like a post route, something like a dig route, then yes, you would maybe want to attack the leverage, but we're going to get into that into a second, okay? So make sure, fellas, when it's inside shade press coverage or the DB's 2 to 3 yards off, the only time you do not attack his leverage is when you have to run like maybe a slant route or maybe like a 5-yard under route, but something short to where we won't be able to cross his face and take the inside move, or to where I won't be able to restack. So let's play this thing full speed. So what we do with is he uses this on a slide, diamond release to the outside, attacking his outside shoulder and getting him to flip those hips. So now we have this inside shade look about 2 to 3 yards off, and this wide receiver is running a fade route. So if you're running any kind of outside breaking route against inside leverage, you want to make sure that we are attacking the leverage. If you have inside shade, if the shade of the coverage is opposite of what you are running, you want to attack his leverage. If it's the same side as what you are running, then maybe you would want to flip his hips or work to restack. So let's talk about it. So he goes here, attacks his leverage, gives him a crossover, and then he bursts back out to the outside running this fade route. So the difference between this is, right, like if I had to run a slant route right here and this receiver attacks the leverage of the DB, you see how he's widening, he's keeping his leverage. So if I wanted to run a slant route, I'd be running right into him. His whole entire goal is to protect the inside. Do not let that receiver cross your face. Do whatever you can to lock him up on the inside. So if I'm running a fade route, that's what I want to sell. I want to make sure that I attack him and I want to make sure that I move him off the platform and then I work back to the outside. So that's when you'd want to attack the leverage. Now, everybody's going to ask, well, what if I have to run like a post route against this coverage? That is when it changes, right? So the only route I said when it's like 2 to 3 yards off or in press would be a slant route. So if I'm here and I got this coverage, I would want to attack his leverage just like so, give him that move. I burst up vertical, and instead of just running the straight fade, I'd be working to restack so I could run the post. Or what I would be doing is if this DB plays me well like so, I could snap down and maybe swat him by. But you have to understand why he's playing that certain leverage. He's playing that leverage to protect the inside. A lot of people think that they can just square up the DB, give him a move, take the inside release, then go to restack. And that might work against an undisciplined guy. But a disciplined guy who's trying to protect the inside, that will not work. Okay, so now let's talk about maybe if it were off man, right? So like let's say he was backed up maybe 7 to 8 yards. That is when it would change a little bit, right? Because if he's an off man now, I could just run the slant. That's no problem because he's an off man. So what route do you think where you wouldn't restack? It would be either like a post route or a dig route at about 10 to 12. Because if he's sitting an off man at 8 to 9 yards, and again, if we attack his leverage and then try to work back to restack, there's just not enough time, not enough space. So you would have to attack his outside shoulder, get him to flip the hips, and then slip under, if he's in off-man coverage. But when it's 2 to 3 yards off, press man, the only route where you would attack the outside shoulder when it's inside shade would be that slant route. Let's watch the thing again, full speed. Perfect example of attacking a DB's leverage, giving him that move off the line, and then using that space we created to fade back outside. All right, fellas, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave that in the comment section below. We always appreciate the feedback, and it's always great to hear from you guys as usual. And again, fellas, if you're a wide receiver and you want a 40-minute long video on how you can read defenses and get better recognizing coverages, picking moves, picking releases, check out that very first link in the description below. I'll see you guys next time.